Well done, man. Hey, Jason, I'm going to move you over here because I want you to help us. Rather than sing you off, I'd rather help you lose a guitar. Right? This dump the guitar. We're going to put you to work. We're going to make you clock in right now. You got to stand over there, And so what we're going to do is we're going to have you help us introduce our next guest. I think that seems appropriate. So, without further ado, Jason Vance.
If it's okay, I'd just like to sing it. That's okay.
Sure.
I'll help you, it's okay.
Oh, I would love it. Please do help. Sing it if you know it.
Get him out of here. Just what? When the farmers can't lift him? You know what? If only God were here to revive him. Where's God in the universe? Thanks, boys. Thank you. Hello, everybody. So good to be here. Thank you for having me at this late invitation. It's great to be here. I'm crashing the party. Just wait till tonight, and I'm really going to crash the party. It's so bright, I can hardly see the guitar. A load of people out there. So, it's been a year since I died. And life's not been the same since. People, in the old days, I used to walk down the street and people would go, oh my God, it's dead, it's dead, it's dead. And then I was at a convention and I was actually on an elevator in Dallas and a bunch of people went, oh my God, and they ran out the elevator. And now, it's very odd. People will see me and recognize me in the store or walking down the street and I go, aww. Like I'm some kind of cuddly kitten or something and they feel sorry for me. And then the other extreme is people going, you know you shouldn't have died. I hope there's no spoilers here. I hope you've all been aware. I'm sure you have. And yeah, so here I am! Very happy to be here. And, well, thank you. And it's my first time in Washington, D.C., so it's and yesterday I went down and I went around the mall and I entered all the memorials and monuments and wow, it's fantastic. So, and the weather! Oh my goodness me. Anyway, well you've heard enough of me. There's people lining up over there. So, you know, we can focus the conversation if you like and people can start asking questions and then I'll deviate and waffle on and things like that. But, okay, so, hello. Who have we got down there? Oh, no, I've messed it up already. The first time I see, I'm kind of new to the whole game of conventions. I've done a few, which has been great. But the first time I ever did a convention, I came out here, and it was a bit like this, where it was like blinding lights, and I'm there, and hello, hello. And then I would look over to the side, and there was lineups of people, and and I actually asked what they were doing. I thought I was supposed to talk, and then okay. But I keep getting it wrong, so I've anticipated it too much. Are we good now? Yeah, okay. All right, let's go with our first question.
So death is like a big concept, like character. It's kind of like playing God almost. So how did you prepare for such a big character?
Okay, big concept. Yeah, well, you know, the way that I go about playing any character is to really look at the script and to see what I've been given in terms of the definition of the character, the scene, the other people that I'm working with. And I got to be honest with you, the first episode of Supernatural I did, which was back in season 5, which I'm sure you will remember the episode, particularly, there was the introduction and then there was the scene in the pizza parlor. So I've been given the script, and the big thing for me was that the script was kind of spooky, and he clearly had a lot of authority, but he had this great human quality of liking junk food. So I just used the two, and I think it's a great bit of writing, and I had fun, and I was fortunate that Jensen was generous enough to be able to kind of play into the whole thing of playing really scared of me. So, as you can see, I'm a terrifying person. So he didn't have to act too much, but you know, he did, and then we just went from there. So. Really, in terms of concept, honestly, I just went, as an actor you have to go from beat to beat to beat, what you're given with the script, and what you manage to produce with the actor in the moment. So I was very fortunate in working with a great actor. We all love Jensen, I'm sure. I was saying this a little bit earlier in a meeting that we had, and a lot of people forget he's a great actor too. And he actually, seriously, I mean, we all adore him for many other reasons, but he also is a great actor and was able to contribute a lot to that scene in the pizza parlor. So we had a lot of fun, and a lot of the creation of the character of Death kind of happened in those early stages there.
You did a great job playing Death.
Well, thank you. Oh, thank you, wow. I think my mom's in the audience. All these compliments going. All right, so there we go. That was a long-winded answer. Next question now, what do? We flip sides?
Hi, Julian.
Hello.
Hi, can you tell me what's going on with Todd in the Book of Pure Evil?
Oh my goodness me. Todd and the Book of Pure Evil. So, some of you obviously know it. It was a show in which I played the leader of what would you call it? A cult of, what's the word? It is slipping me. I'm getting very old, you know. So I was the hooded leader, and it was great because I was in about, I guess, 10 episodes of this show, and I had a hood on, and you could only see my mouth. So I had to act with my mouth. So I got very self-conscious about my mouth. It's the most self-conscious I've ever been. Anyway, sorry. So what's going on with it? It was a show, it was very funny, very sort of cheesy special effects that were funny, like blood going, heads, but in a funny way. And this is terrible. Who is this man? Take him away. So there is a film, a feature-length film. Is that what you're asking about?
Did it get completed?
It got completed, and I believe that it's going to be distributed this coming year. Yeah, so look out for it, Todd and the Book of Pure Evil. And if you see a mouth that looks like mine, that's me.
Thank you.
Here. This is my character. I do in the characters that I play. It's a bit alarming as you get older, and you get paid for certain parts. I was in a movie recently which has become a big hit called The Witch. Now, if you sneeze at the beginning of the movie, you'll miss me. But I am in there, and originally when we filmed it, there there was more, I'm the head of the village that banishes our heroes. And so there was a long extended sequence. And then what I do is I basically go to the wilderness, go away. And I realized that it was exactly the same scene that I have in Man of Steel, where I'm doing the same thing except in Krypton. So basically, all you have to do is dress me up in different costumes. Everywhere is a go. Team, go. So that's easy. And then Todd in the Book of Pure Evil, it's like go. I'm a very versatile character actor. Okay, next question.
Hi, it's April Fool's Day, and I was just wondering, have Jared and Jensen ever pranked you?
I missed the last bit. Has Jared and Jensen ever what?
Pranked you? Like...
Oh, pranked me. They're too scared. Because that's one of the good things. When you play a character like that, even though people laugh, they always go, Is that funny? Isn't it? It's like when people tweet and, they go, I never thought I'd be hugged by death before, So, no, they haven't pranked me. Now, that's not an invitation for them to prank me, even though it's April Fools, I know. No, I'm very happy in that. So I'm going to be the old curmudgeon that doesn't like being pranked. Misha's tried it a few times. But, just a little flick in the ears does him good. No, I'm very fortunate. So I have nothing to report on the prank front. I'm sorry I'm wandering around. I'm a wanderer. I don't like sitting still. Hello.
Hi. First off, I just want to say you're my favorite representation of death ever.
Thank you. Doesn't that sound weird? But I'll take the compliment. Thank you. Yeah.
I wanted to know, how you relate to the character Death. You personally relate to that character.
Well, it's a great question. I know, and it sounds weird whenever I say it. I play Death. But no, it's a great question. And it's a very serious question, too. And as I said before, I'm a character actor, and to be serious for a minute, I think one of the great things about the character of Death is that he isn't just a force of evil or somebody that is coming to do harm to everybody. I think he's part of a natural cycle. And death, like the seasons, it flows from spring to summer to fall to winter. And I think that death's role in Supernatural is very much part to maintain order and balance. And I think that that's there in the show. And I think that the relationship that Death shares with, particularly with Dean and with Sam, but he has more interaction with Dean, is that of somebody that's like someone that cares, like a relative or like an uncle or somebody that is more than just a bad figure. So I don't look at Death in negative light. I just see it as a cycle. Okay?
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. Okay. Hello, over there.
Did you feel betrayed when Dean killed you?
My mom was furious. I tell you, he'd better not go near my mom. Otherwise, it's going to be in a lot of trouble. It was a little bit of a surprise, I can tell you. Betrayed. Well, it's a shock. Let's put it that way. But again, that's the beauty of this world of Supernatural, that you, as fans, and we, as performers and part of this world, we're all in it together. I think that's the wonderful thing, is that it's always able to surprise. And the moment you get secure and think, oh, well, Death can never die. And who knows? This is a universe that everything is possible, and I love it for that. So, no problems with it.
Thank you.
It's okay. Okay.
Hi.
Hi.
I was wondering, what's your favorite fast food?
My favorite fast food. Well, so I grew up in England, the land of. What? Hello. So the land of. Well, not fast food so much as bad food. Again, my mum wouldn't agree with that, but anyway. So my favorite, I think it's the thing that I grew up with, which is chip butties. And I had to explain what they were earlier. It's what you guys call French fries, with lots of vinegar, malt vinegar, lots of salt, and then you wrap it in Wonder Bread, like a really soft bread. Maybe put some tomato ketchup if you're really exotic, and then you eat it. And then you see what happens. And it's not very pretty. So, thank you. I was surprised by the pickle chips. That was a surprise. I'd never heard of them before the episode. And apparently they're quite widespread. Yeah, I like them. Anyway, but chip butties are my go-to junk food. Yes?
Hi, Julian.
Hello.
I wanted to ask what your stand is on death itself. Your character, the angels fight for the souls and the demons fight for the souls, either heaven or hell. Are you just a transportation mode? What is your, I guess, I'm getting deep, sorry.
Crikey! My goodness me. Well, it's a fair question. I go back to the actor rather than there's a lot of people that really take the whole world, the mythology and the interaction of all the themes of supernatural, and they'll ask me penetrating questions like that one, and I'll go, Yeah. I think it goes back to my earlier answer, to be honest with you, where I see him as a force of renewal. So it's not a negative thing, and that's the language that I use as an actor, and that's kind of the language that I keep to, and that way I keep death as my own sort of creation of my own character, and I'm aware that there's a whole mythology of reapers and the way we all fit in, but for me, I'm just an agent of nature.
You're an equalizer, like everybody has to go through death.
Yeah. Does that make sense?
Yep.
Okay. All right.
Thank you.
And then that lets me off the hook because I'll take it then. Thank you. I had to work very hard for that answer. That was a very. I actually love the fact that the world of supernatural, as I've become used to it, and I've met more and more fans, I realized that so many people approach the show and the actors on so many different levels, and again, that's something that I value, and I think it's great that some people appreciate it for show to show, story to story. Some people take the whole character arc, and some people take the entire world. Okay, next. Hello.
Hello. I'm happy you brought up the film The Witch. I was actually wondering how was it on set, and did you enjoy yourself there? And if you've seen the film and liked it.
Yeah, I've seen the film. I really liked it. The Witch is a horror film by a first-time director. His name is Robert Eggers. Really talented young man, and very assured piece of filmmaking. And it was a pleasure to be a part of. Now, when you do a film on a relatively low budget, with a new script, you don't know how it's going to turn out, right? So when I filmed it, I thought, well, this is really great. I like the way that he was filming things. It was very imaginative. Nobody in it was well-known or famous, so there was no guarantees that it would be a success. But I had a good feeling about it, and I'm just really pleased that it turned out the way it has. And I think that you're going to watch his career blossom. He's a very talented man. So that's very gratifying for me as an actor. So many times, people like myself, character actors that go to a lot of different shows, invest in something, and you think, oh, this is great, this is going to doesn't work, and then for some reason it just doesn't catch a nerve, or something doesn't work, or the network isn't very keen on that style of show, and it just fades away. So, you know, when things just suddenly catch fire, it's great. But it's an interesting dilemma for people like me, because I find myself at the edge of a lot of these stories a lot of the time. I'm very happy to be that way. I mean, that's kind of my role in life, is to be a character, like a primary color within a bigger picture, if you like. So I'm very happy when that bigger picture is very well known. But often, the success or the failure of an enterprise doesn't affect me directly as much as it would the people that have been in the entire movie shoot. You know, for that one, I was just there in a rural area for about 3 or 4 days. So for some people, it was their life for about 6 months, 9 months. Right. Okay, so moving on. I'm trying to give you meaningful answers too. How am I doing? Am I doing all right? Stage left. Here we go, stage left.
Hi. So
Hello.
It's been stated that death is perhaps even older than God, as not only a character but a concept. And I was wondering, what time in history or what period of human history do you think death would have enjoyed witnessing or favored to be part of?
Oh my goodness, what? History of death you enjoy? Well, I guess the Middle Ages, death was a lot more widespread. We had a lot more work to do in the Middle Ages, anyway. And gruesome work. I think I would have gone, ew. No, I don't like that. Yeah. Well, I think that's kind of why I always think of death and plagues and famines and conditions that were less than sterile and perfect. So I think that probably would have been the one in which death flourished. I don't think Julian would have been very happy playing death at that particular time. I'm very happy playing death in this period of history. Thank you very much. All right.
Hello, I have one that you may not know the answer to, and that's okay because I have a backup if you don't. But in the scene where Dean kills you,
Yes.
there was some debate about whether Dean intentionally decided to kill Death instead of killing Sam, or did something about the mark trying to preserve itself sort of drive him to miss? I don't know if you would know that or not. What was Dean's...
When he hit me!
Did he choose to do that, or was it a surprise to Dean
Yes.
as well? I don't know.
Well, I can't answer that because that's very much the other actor's intention, right? So I can't speak for Jensen. I don't know, I think probably most people that I've talked to, and probably most of you out here, it looked pretty deliberate to me. But I'm gonna get my own back at some point. But you're right, there is room for doubt, right? And I think that's what's so smart about the writing, the structure, and the fact that it came at the end of the season. And I suggest that we'll be hearing more about that and what the logic was. Again, I don't know. I'm not giving anything away, but we'll see. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks. Hello, stage left.
Hey, Dad.
Hello.
So,
Hey, I love that when people say, "Hi, Dad." It's so funny. It's like, you know, you're walking around on the street, and people go, "It's Dad!" Hey! Very good. Yeah. Go on. I sometimes deliberately will, would walk along with very pompous people that I know, and then have people that know me as Dad shout to me. It's really great. They just called you Dad. Anyway, sorry.
So that was my question, no. So in season 6, as you know, in the episode where Dean takes the role of Death, and
Yep. Samara,
Samara,
Yeah.
At the end of the episode, you, as Death, say that sometimes you wish that you could take the ring off.
Yeah.
And you also are very willing to give Dean the role of Death for the day. So that begs the question, is Death
unsatisfied or unhappy with his job?
Okay. No, I don't think he's unsatisfied or unhappy with his job, but I think it's a huge responsibility. It's a huge burden of responsibility, and Death is only too aware of that. And I think he's teaching Dean a lesson and saying, okay, you try it for a day and see what happens, and how complex it is, and how you have to do your job and not let other things get in the way. Otherwise, you really start messing with things. So I think it's a great little parable, actually. And I think that it goes back to that thing I was saying about how death is an agent of nature, of keeping things true and real. I think that, but that bears a heavy responsibility. So that's it.
Thank you.
Hello.
Hello. I was just wondering, after Death died, I would have expected there to be more chaos, more, people doing whatever they wanted. Is there going to be another death that comes and takes over to kind of, or is now that the character is gone, that whole belief of the Reapers?
It's the big question, isn't it? And I don't know. I really don't, because, I'm hoping that Death or some version of him comes back, but I don't know. And I think for me, the best thing ever, though, was the line at the end of the season. There's the shock of killing Death, which was pretty stunning, and then the line, I think I've just killed Death. That's a pretty cool line. But no, I don't know whether there's it feels like there's a vacuum at the moment, and it feels like anything could happen, and we'll see. We'll see, so can't answer it, I'm afraid. Okay, next.
Hi.
Hello.
My question is, who's your favorite actor or somebody you look up to?
A favorite actor?
Yeah.
Well, I got loads. Like everybody else, I watch movies and TV and theatre and all that stuff. There's a real favourite actor of mine that I don't know if a lot of you know who he is. Oh yes, you will know who he is. His name is Michael Gambon. I kind of have a great respect for him. So just for you who don't know, he played in Harry Potter. Who was it? Dumbledore. Which is kind of unusual for him because he's a little bit like me. He's a character actor. Well, he's slightly different than me, but slightly different than me. So he's played a lot of characters: television, film, theatre. Does a lot of theatre too. And he recently has become well known to the public through his work in Harry Potter. But that's sort of a bit of a departure for him. So I don't think if you were discussing his body of work, you would, go, oh, he's the guy in Harry Potter. It's just a reference. But he's done so much great work. He's a great actor in classical theatre. He's a great man, a great person, and that means a lot to me. I've worked with him personally, and he's been an inspirational on a professional and a personal level. And so he's one of the greats that I think. He's actually, he's a British actor, and he's been knighted. He's Sir Michael Gambon. But again, I'm very impressed with his humility. He would never. There was one point when after I worked with him on one show, and then I worked with him on Kevin Costner's Open Range, and I played his henchman again. I keep playing his henchman. And he was on the call sheet as Sir Michael Gambon, and he picked me up. He said he knew that I was working on this movie, and he said, "Let's go out for a drive and catch up." As we were driving around, he said, I'm really worried. Oh yeah? He said, they call me Sir on the call sheet. What am I going to do? And he was genuinely concerned that he didn't want to be called Sir, and he didn't want to be different than everybody else. He just saw himself as an ordinary actor. And I find that humility and that down-to-earth quality inspirational. And so, he's my hero for the day.
So you were in Orphan Black,
Yep.
And I was just wondering, how do you think Death would have felt if there were multiple clones of Sam and Dean?
That's funny. That's combining two shows that I've been working on recently. So I play a character in Orphan Black, who is kind of, well, it was funny, I know the writer and the other showrunner, John Fawcett, who directs a lot of the episodes. I know those two guys. I did their first films together a long time ago when they were at film school. I did Cube, which Graham wrote, and I did John's first film at film school. Anyway, it's a long story, but those guys are an inspiration to me, but they sort of turned around to me and said, oh, we got this part in this show called Orphan Black, this was season 2. Could you just come in and do it? They would think it would be great. And I came in and I did it, and I had a lot of fun. It's a great set, great actors on there. Tatiana is especially wonderful. And then they said, oh, well, we come back for another episode and another episode. So I keep coming back, but I don't really have an important role in it. So I think what I would do, it's great. I go in and I enjoy stuff, and then I go away again and I come back in. But I think if I was Death, I'd go around making sure that my character in Orphan Black had multiple clones of himself. Right? And it was very, very important. And he became more and more significant in the show. But as it is, I enjoy just hanging around and doing the show. And I've actually done quite a few in this latest season. And and I think you'll enjoy it, because I know that there's a whole season for you to watch now.
Yes.
Thank you. Thanks. Okay, come on over here. Hello.
Hello. Does your children call you Dad or Death?
Who called me Dad?
What?
Oh, my children. My children, yes, Dad or Dad. No, well, it's normally Dad, really. And, it's Dad. It's Dad. But you know what? I've become cool in my daughter's eyes because I play Death. I play so many weirdos that she'll often go, that's embarrassing. That's just embarrassing. But since I've done Supernatural, she has so many friends that go, your dad is dead! Oh my God! Oh my God! And it goes on and on and on. So now her status has gone from being embarrassed to kind of walking out, my dad's dead. Although they still call me Dad, in my daughter's eyes, I think I'm sort of honorary Dad. Daddy Dad. Daddy Dad. Thanks for your question. Okay, bye. Hello.
Hi. So I was really excited when you showed up in season 3 of Hannibal, and you played a rather interesting character.
Oh, yes.
So I was wondering what that experience was like.
Well, so I did an episode of Hannibal, and which again is a really interesting show. Obviously I've seen the movies like everybody else, and I had no idea that there was a TV show, and I couldn't imagine how there could be a TV show, and it's sort of weird and off the wall and off kilter, but I like that stuff. So anyway, I went in and they wanted me to play this guy. I basically look like a caveman. I don't know if you've seen any pictures from it, but I've been kept in a cage for 30 years or something. So I have a beard. I can't grow a beard. So I had a false beard down here, and I had hair extensions down here. Naked chest. Sort of like rags and things. And I spoke Lithuanian. So it was a bit of a challenge. And Lithuanian is a very complex language. And if you're speaking, I've recently done a show called Killjoys, in which we were on a planet, and I was a monk on a different planet. That wasn't too bad. They gave me another language to learn, but at least if I mispronounced the language, I wasn't going to offend somebody because it was completely make-believe. But we have a lot of, well, I actually personally have a Lithuanian friend, and there's clearly a lot of Lithuanian folks or Lithuanian heritage that watch the show. So very complicated trying to get that right, and be this guy that was dirty and decrepit and stuff. But it was kind of fun. And then there was this big special effect at the end of it, where I'm hung and I become a cocoon. And so we went through all these different special effects meetings and prosthetics and things. And there were two strains of thought. Will we chain him up and get him up there and hang him? Or will we get a dummy and hang it? And we did it two ways. And you have to guess which it is. Is it me or is it the dummy? What do you think?
I want to say it was you.
You want to say it was it? Well, I know, that's kind of a compliment. But so they had an alternate option. It always amazes me how thoroughly things are researched and the amount of work that goes into stuff that, you know, like Hannibal, like Supernatural, stuff behind the scenes that the audience doesn't really get to see. People go, yeah, right, of course, because there had to be stunt performers involved in that, there had to be special makeup artists, there had to be riggers, because I was hung up, people whose skill is actually raising me up to the roof and pulling me down again, and they had to know exactly how heavy I was to make it safe, etc., etc., etc. So that for me is part of the joy of what I do as an actor. I get to work with a lot of other professionals in other departments. I was in a... What's that?
I just said thank you to them.
Well, thank you. I did a movie called Wrong Turn, in which I played, a guy that had 4 hours of special effects prosthetics. And it's amazing to see the work and the care that goes into it. And then an audience member was saying, you were great in that movie, but you know, I was great, all the choices that I made were dictated by the work that had been done for the 4 hours of people making me up. Anyway, thank you.
Thank you.
I'll go on to my next question. I'm aware, I keep looking around to see if there's a hook that's going to pull me off. As I don't give like 3-word answers. I'm not a good politician. I start going, and another thing, and then looking to see if there's a hook pulling. Anyway, shut up, Julian. Hi.
I was wondering, when you were filming Kingdom Hospital as Otto, I just weren't in some of the more fun scenes, like when the guy got up and started singing. Do you wish like you were a part of those scenes, or were you all kind of like on the sidelines going, oh, that's just awesome?
Well, I think you live vicariously through the show that you're doing. So I'm proud to be a part of it, and as long as I embrace the things that I'm in that show, I feel very much invested in all the good stuff and the stuff that doesn't work. You know, you feel like, oh man, that wasn't too good. So you're part of the team, really. It doesn't always pay off, but you know,